Hi, this is Spoken Screen with Ellen Reed. Hello. I'm here with Ellis,
Hi.
also known as Dex, like referred to as Dex, and I'm here with Santi, who is Santi.
He described himself, to be honest.
And today we will be talking about Fight Club, the film from 1999.
Obviously, you're not meant to do, as proposed by the tagline of the film.
Yes, but we're gonna do it anyway because we're rebels and we fight. We don't.
We are the Tyler Durdens of the new generation.
Or are we?
It should be known. Shut up. It should be known that both Dex and I have seen Fight Club multiple times, whereas Santi has only seen it once.
And we study it in lessons.
Yes.
And Santi knows something about it, definitely.
He knows
but
Got
I'm
the
not sure
Hulk
what.
in it.
And he knows the music.
He's my Hulk. None of that Mark Ruffalo nonsense.
We're talking about Fight Club.
You gotta
Edward Norton is
Is
the
Bay.
narrator exclusively.
not called Jack, because most people seem to think it's Jack, and that really
I
kind
mean,
of bugs
it's written
me.
like that in the script, actually.
It's actually.
It is, which is really strange, I think,
Oh.
because he says, I am Jax, not that he is Jack. But
Hmm.
I suppose it's just easier than writing the narrator.
Yeah.
Takes more time in essays.
So what was your take on the film when you first saw it, Santi?
I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest.
Really?
It just seemed like a bunch of edgy people running about being edgy.
Well, then I think that's why you should watch it more than once.
To be honest.
But then, like, it reaches a bit where it's just like, oh, I'm gonna chase after this Tyler Durden. Ooh, I'm in Ireland, I'm here. Oh, you just missed him. Ah.
But when were they in Ireland?
They were in Ireland for a bit, like,
No, they
chasing
weren't.
down the
It's
other
always
countries'
America.
fight clubs.
It wasn't in other countries, it was all across America. But,
Ireland's
this
in
shows you how much
America.
depth he knows.
Ireland
No.
is in America.
But that's because it's the setting up franchises.
Like McDonald's.
Exactly.
Yes.
Can I get
Fighting
a hamburger
equals
with
McDonald's.
my bloody nose?
Which I'm surprised at that.
Yeah. More
That's
like,
exactly
would I
what
like
it-
some
it
fires
sa-
with
it
that?
says that Tyler's going around setting up franchises, and then the narrator goes to visit all of them, and they all know him, but he doesn't know them, because obviously he is Tyler.
Wait, what?
Shut up.
You
That's
need to
true,
watch the
actually.
film, honestly.
He already knows.
Yes, so, I looked online because I did research, very
That's
deep
fine.
research, yeah. And Google says that the genre is drama / black comedy, which I don't
Not a
agree
black
with.
comedy.
I don't think there is a genre for Fight Club.
No,
like,
it's-
at all.
I mean, lots of people try to argue it's a postmodern text, obviously, but postmodernism isn't really a genre.
It's not a genre. It could be a sub-genre, but not
I don't
really
think
that
so,
either.
'cause subgenres are within other genres, but like as we discussed in last year's lessons, both Cabin in the Woods and Scream are postmodern horrors,
Yeah.
so it's not.
Because it's got everything.
Watch them.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, but I don't think it's a black comedy. Not much of it is actually funny.
Well, the penis.
The penis. Thank you, Santi.
That was funny. Like, a bunch of family films, just
Yeah, just put at the very end.
Brad Penis.
Brad
Brad
penis. I don't think it is his, to be honest.
Oh, you think he got a body double?
Well, you don't see his face.
For all his crazy stuff.
I read an essay in a book about Fight Club the other day, which said that it's really hilariously ironic that Brad Pitt is playing Tyler Durden, because Tyler Durden is telling you that you're not special, that you're not going to become a Hollywood star, except it's a Hollywood star that you know, and everyone knows,
Yeah.
telling you that.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that'd
actually
be better than Brad from accounting.
Brad from accounting. Yeah, I mean, if it didn't have the stars, the film wouldn't be nearly as popular, let's be real.
I think maybe
But-
they should have got Mark Ruffalo, because Mark Ruffalo isn't the real Hulk, but Edward Norton is.
okay.
Stop talking about the Hulk.
This is what's gonna
Fight Club.
get us off track. You came here for Fight Club.
Did I?
Yes, you did. There is lots of themes in Fight Club, so
Lots.
obviously.
It's a complex film.
It really is, honestly. One of those, I don't know if it's a theme. Psychoanalysis?
Psychoanalysis is a theory that can be applied to Fight Club.
Theory.
It is a theory that can be applied to Fight
There's
Club.
lots of
Santi
it.
has no idea what we're talking about.
He is lost.
You know Freud, though.
Yeah, I do Freud, I do Jung, I do a bit.
Mostly we talk about Freud and the id, ego, superego
Oh, that one.
in Fight Club.
Sure.
Yeah, because Tyler, we believe, is a representation of the narrator's id.
Mm-hmm.
So he does all the things that the narrator wants to do. He has sex with Marla, he goes around fighting people, he eats what he wants to, lives where he wants to, has no social expectations on him whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
He is the ideal narrator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
He's the embodiment of American freedom, you would say?
Not necessarily American freedom. Definitely what a bunch of angry white boys would consider
Yeah.
freedom. But not quite freedom as we all know it.
Not to bring this off track, but have you seen the film Demolition Man?
Haven't I?
Well, there's a scene where the leader of the underground resistance sort of speaks out against this very repressed society, expressing that he wants to be able to have hamburgers because they're illegal in the world. He wants to be able to drive a car, he wants to be able to crash the car. He wishes to be able to live and breathe and fail with his freedom. Would you say that the ability to fail is important in Fight Club as much as the ability to succeed?
Definitely. I think Tyler's whole philosophy is built on failure. I mean, obviously, Tyler's philosophy itself is flawed, and that's the whole point of the film, is that Tyler's dead at the end. Well, in his mind, Tyler's dead at the end. And,
Until he needs him again.
eventually, which we'll ignore for now.
In Fight Club
But
2.
don't even mention Fight Club 2.
Wait,
that
there's a
a
Fight
film?
Club
Don't
2.
even mention Fight Club 2.
There's a Fight Club 2?
No, it was planned and they cancelled it because it was terrible. Essentially,
even-
he and Marla got married and now they're really unhappy and they're both on drugs all the time. So just don't even mention
what
it.
would
And
be the
Edward
point
Norton
of
Don't
is
that?
even
played by
mention
Mark Ruffalo.
I'm actually going to title this Mark Ruffalo because of you. Like, we're going to get so off track at some point.
I have Mark
a 2-hour
Ruffalo's Ed Norton.
tirade against Mark Ruffalo.
No, but it is central to Tyler's whole philosophy because they're built on the fact that they are failing what everyone expects them to do and therefore they feel like they're special. So they have to go off and do their own thing and fuck American society. Well, because they're outcasts in some way. And it's like, just keep going with it. It's
Can
not that
we
difficult.
censor that profanity?
Ellis
I
decided
really
to not
can't be
censor
bothered.
it.
And also, we're rebels, as we've stated from the
Well,
beginning.
you can't exactly talk about Fight Club without swearing or without talking about sex in any way, so...
Well, like,
Sorry,
when I
sensitive
talk
people
about
out
the
there.
sex, I use the anatomically correct term, Brad Penis.
The Brad penis.
Just opening a science book, just to see, what's this? The Brad penis. Just...
I'm curious to know if it was genuinely one of the actor's penises.
Peni.
Pen-
That's multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the plural is penises. I have dictionaried it before. I was in like year 7.
I've got to be mature and not make the dictionary pun.
I think you already just did.
Yeah, you did. Alright.
Also, I feel like the characters in the film are, like, they resemble, like we've said before, like, personality. And obviously Freud's id and everything. Where do you think Marla goes within this whole idea of...
dear.
I don't think she goes into any Freudian analysis. I think she falls
No, she's
under
a bit
the
more complex.
Jungian analysis of...
Explain.
Well, Freud believed in the anima and the animus, and I will definitely get this the wrong way around. The anima is the female aspect of the psyche expressed within the male mind, whereas the animus is the male aspect of the psyche. Did I say animus twice?
No.
No.
Whereas the animus is the male aspect of the psyche expressed within the female mind. And maybe Marla represents one of those. The anima. Whichever one's the female psyche within the male mind.
Interesting, to be fair, because she is seen exclusively through her interactions with the narrator or Tyler. We don't see Marla by herself, so it's exclusively how they view her. And as we know, they're both, like, the narrator's still unreliable, because he doesn't have any idea who Tyler is. even though it's himself.
You
can edit the cough out.
Santi just moved away from all of us and the phone.
That is interesting. Yeah, we do only see her through that. Like, we see her stealing stuff from the thrift store, and we're like, what the hell is she doing? But, I don't know. I would argue that she's possibly the ideal that Tyler is looking for.
Yeah.
Although she's in poverty, which isn't really fun, and Tyler's not quite, because he's got a bunch of people working for him, and they've got the blackmail from the boss. But Marla does what she wants. She goes off smoking, she goes to all the meetings, she buys things from thrift stores, she steals stuff, but she doesn't make an absolute wreck of herself, and she doesn't make an absolute wreck of society, so she is an outcast who is perfectly fine living as an outcast.
Yeah.
Whereas Tyler and Project Mayhem are outcasts in some way that want to do something about it, but what they're doing is ultimately self-destructive, while Marla sort of just gets on with life.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Anything to add, Santi?
Not to that. My mind's just off on a different bit about Fight Club.
Which bit?
The marketing of, you know, the products they sold for Fight Club? Of all the items, pink bars of soap.
Pink bars
Did
of
they
soap.
actually?
Yeah, because, like, there's the entire bit about how bombs can be made out of soap. So what they sell is, like, you've got pink bars of soap with the word Fight Club, like they're holding in the poster. I'm surprised that's the main thing they picked up on, the pink bars of soap.
Because it's mentioned, like,
It's
twice, I think. Because he mentioned...
I only know
when he first meets him.
When he first meets him, he mentions it when they go to steal the fat and...
Oh, the very beginning as well.
And when he puts the lie on the narrator's hand, and he's like, stay with the pain.
May I please just say, vinegar does nothing to help with lye burns. The correct procedure for lye burn is the same as any other burn. Pour it under a cold running tap for about 10 minutes.
No.
I can be wrong.
You are definitely wrong.
I swear.
Because it would have made it so much worse.
You know the way that water makes spicy food worse because it just spreads the spice around your mouth?
That's why you need milk.
I don't really know that, so...
Well,
when you have a chili, you need to drink milk, other's it's just going to spread even more.
Well,
it's going to get into your system
I'm not a wuss,
a lot more.
I don't need any drink.
Okay, pigeon.
Yeah,
but
it's bad they can't see me here.
Yeah,
I think one of the things about the soap is the irony of it, because they're all a bunch of dirty misfits, and obviously Tyler says that they're selling their own fat back to the rich people when they go to the department store, and he's like, I don't know how much they sold it for, but Tyler sold it back to them. And it's interesting that they picked up on the soap, because it is sort of Tyler using capitalism to his advantage.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's just being part of the system that he hates so much without really caring about it.
So if you were to recreate the poster and you felt like it would be more significant to the film, how would you like display it?
Meatloaf in a fat suit, need I say more?
That's it. Fight Club underneath.
Fat suit. That should be the advertising slogan. That's how to get people to go watch the film. It's like with the recent Kingsman, it's just Elton John, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go see it because it's got Elton John.
I didn't know he was gonna be in it.
That was so funny.
Or just like as a tagline, his name is Robert Paulson.
That would be good. Actually.
Interesting. He's not a significant enough character.
No.
I think.
Say what?
I would probably do a sort of split thing with Tyler and the narrator. Narrator on one side, Tyler on the other side, facing opposite directions, right against each other. That kind of thing. The sort of split personality.
Yeah.
Thing. But I do like the marketing system they had, because they had all the trailers were just like a bunch of fighting, which got people to go see the film, which would have been the audience for that, except the messages in the film are totally against what those people believe. So I think it was really well done.
Well, it's similar to what Deadpool did. The marketing for that was all it was Valentine's Day, and it made it look like a romantic film.
Well, it was a romantic
to
in
get
some respects.
Yeah. Elements
it's all
of
about
it.
a man's love.
And now the newest trailer is Bob Ross.
Journey.
Yeah.
Just so funny.
Haven't seen
the
that
Deadpool team are astounding.
You know what I think they should do next time? Kill Mark Ruffalo.
Is that what we're going to conclude?
With Edward Norton.
That's what it's going to come to. So how do you think, because we were speaking earlier about the response, like people's response to film, like, so people in cinemas, like, what was taken away from the actual film was quite negative.
Yeah. Well, that just ties into what I just said about the angry white boys who went to go see the film. They go see a film, expect having fight clubs, and come out being like, that wasn't what I expected, because obviously Tyler, as the antagonist, is entirely defeated by the end of the film, even though he is their ideal man, or whatever.
The issue is you've got to know what your film is going to be before you go into it.
Exactly. It's like the same thing that happened with Cabin in the Woods, is that the trailers were all horror film, and the film itself was a bunch of postmodern references to other horror films and talking about specific horror film archetypes.
And even straight away with Cabin in the Woods, you know it's not your conventional horror film because it starts in like this kind of workplace.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's done really well.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yes, yeah, it is.
From the famous horror film, of course, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art.
Nice.
But then people watching Fight Club expecting an action-packed film, I think most people would understand it, but there's the argument that people would see it and just remember the fight scenes.
This is true.
And then at the very end they'd be like, oh cool, a bunch of buildings collapsing, and
I don't remember the fight scenes though. Like, I've only seen it once, and as a person who's only seen it once, all I remember are the long stretches of just talking about capitalism.
But you're not an angry white boy.
I
you're
can be angry. I can get face paint.
You're not white.
I can get face paint.
And you haven't been raised in a capitalist white society where you've been told that you can get whatever you want.
I can get asbestos face paint.
I'm trying to remember what you just said.
Santi, we're getting off track.
It was about the reception.
That's it, yeah.
You can't really argue that it isn't an action-packed film, because it is. Like, there's fight scenes everywhere, there's chase scenes, there's them trying to blow up a building and then blow up more buildings at the end, and so much happens in it that you cannot argue that it's not fast-paced, that it's not action-packed.
Is there actually a body count in Fight Club? One, Robert Paulson, because, like, all the Project Mayhem buildings are meant to be empty, even though asbestos from the buildings. If you think asbestos paint is bad, asbestos building falls to earth, dust particles, kill everyone.
Surely there must have been security guards as well.
No, apparently they were all Project Mayhem members.
Yeah, like, you've got to believe it.
Oh yeah, because the police officers are in on it as well.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, if you come to us, we've got to cut. Is it your tongue off or your?
You know what it is.
It's your Brad penis, yeah.
Your Brad penis.
Your
No,
Brad
it's
penis.
your
Brad
testicles.
balls.
Oh, that's
it's your
one.
Brad balls.
Yeah. No, but the people
I don't know of any society that can convince you to get up and close with another man's.
There have been stories of people who have gone off to recreate fight clubs, which is obviously exactly the opposite of the point of the film.
Yeah.
So they went, watched, didn't pay enough attention, or just couldn't be bothered to figure out what it meant.
How do you even know they watched the film?
That's a fair point. They might have been like, oh, there's a thing called Fight Club, we should start fight clubs. But they all, like, cheer each other on and stuff. There was a story a while ago about teachers who made students fight each other, like, I don't know, like
Wasn't that
toddlers,
an
like
Australian
6-year-olds.
school?
Really?
Yeah,
Like,
legitimately 6-year-olds.
wasn't it an Australian school that had its, like, Thunderdome?
I don't know.
I remember hearing something. I can be wrong.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they made a bunch of toddlers fight, which is a really weird thing to do in the first place, and they're all probably traumatized. But
Yeah, I mean, those poor teachers just having to watch that.
yeah, but those are people who obviously haven't paid attention to the message of the film. Chuck, whatever his name is, Palahniuk, something.
Sounds Canadian.
The guy who wrote the book.
Oh, right,
essentially.
him.
Yeah, him. He has 2 other books which have incredibly similar messages. Survivor and another one that I can't remember the name of, but he has other books that have very similar messages about how we feel like outcasts from society and try to do something about it, but it's just really stupid. And so everyone who's seen the film and goes off and starts a Fight Club obviously just has not paid attention to the messages whatsoever.
Yeah.
If you want to start a Fight Club, hit me up. Literally, in some cases.
Hey.
Also,
I think that would be a hoot and a holler. BYOB, you know, bring along some snacks. If you bring along a bag of ice.
Bring along your own split personality.
That usually helps, just to...
just
brings a new meaning to
one.
1v1.
I kind of like how the film, it doesn't, like... Because obviously he has mental health issue.
Yeah.
I feel like but it's not the main focus of the film at all. We just discover at the end, well, he has insomnia. That's all we know really of him for his mindset, but we don't know anything else. And then we find out that he has split personality disorder.
Yeah.
So I just think it's interesting that they didn't mention it any further than that. Like that was it, and they didn't base the story around that. And I thought it was.
I do like that. I think it's an acknowledgement of the fact that all humans are messed up. Marla's messed up. Narrator's messed up. Everyone in the film has some kind of problem. Like, I think it is an acknowledgement of that, personally. And I think, as well as that, you can't really diagnose something like that because there have been no recorded cases that have gone that far. And realistically, if every time he went to sleep he became Tyler, then he would die because he would have gotten no sleep.
Yeah.
So it's not... It is a bit fantastical, but I do think that was good as well.
Yeah.
Wait.
Anything to add?
So, I've just realised, how does Tyler, in the space of a night, go to another part of America, do his Tyler thing, then come back?
There's no, like,
As
time...
narrator, or what?
There's not really much a time span, so...
He does sometimes pass out for a couple days and then not realise that a couple days have passed.
Yeah. So, because sometimes you don't know whether it's been, like... Yeah, been a day or a week. Like, you don't know.
I believe in
So maybe he's getting his sleep then?
I believe in the book, the narrator is institutionalized for his problems, because obviously he goes to the police and tells the police all about it, and they're like, what is going on? So they would have followed up on that, presumably. Arrested him for blowing up buildings because he is Tyler Durden. That kind of thing.
But would they arrest him?
Chopped off his Brad penis.
But would they arrest him? Because most people...
No, it's the other police. Though, because there's that one detective that they didn't manage to convince.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so him. And so I think he was put in, like, a mental asylum or something, which leads on to Fight Club 2, where he's taking a bunch of drugs.
That sucks. Like,
I know.
The
sort
idea
of
of
the happy
that.
ending of it,
Does
don't
he
you?
join
I'm glad it doesn't exist, though. That's
Does
the
he
only
join a breakdancing competition in Fight Club 2, Electric Boogaloo?
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. You know, he crosses over with the guys from the original Breakin', and they bust some moves. For those of you who can't see me, which is all of
He's
you,
dancing awkwardly on his knees.
I look like the clown from Home Alone 2,
It's a
being
mix
puppeted
between-
by Macaulay Culkin.
It's a mix between the robot and a really slow shimmy.
He's sped up the shimmy.
Oh. We're getting off track again.
Yeah. So, Fight Club is the third best Edward Norton film
Third best.
where he plays a guy with a split personality, where the other personality becomes quite angry and impulsive.
Okay, I know the Hulk. What's the other one?
The Incredible Hulk.
Oh,
Oh, God, Dex.
I think you forget there were two Hulk films before that.
what? No, there weren't.
Yeah, there were Hulk
there
and
weren't.
the Incredible Hulk. The first Hulk.
No.
Yeah, Hulk,
No.
directed by Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Zhang Li. And the Incredible Hulk, I don't know, had the leader in it, had Abomination in it. Lot of Hulk beat Galactus action for those of you who get the reference.
No, Edward
to
Norton only played
Matrix
the Hulk
video
once, didn't he?
game. No, that's right, he played it twice.
2008.
Yeah.
That's the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
No, that's the first film that he's in. Because I know that plot. And
Who
that's
was
the
in
one.
Who was in Hulk then? Who played Hulk in Hulk?
That is a fine question.
Wait, no, it wasn't. It wasn't Edward Norton. I've been wrong.
Get out.
You've been making references this whole time, and now you've made a really detailed one and have failed.
It's the second best. It's the second best Edward Norton film where he plays.
I like Fight Club more than I like the Hulk. Although the Hulk does have Liv Tyler in it, and she's pretty.
I don't know who that is.
Brilliant.
Liv Tyler Durden?
She plays
Betty Ross. Betty Ross, the
Saying
guy
words.
who helps out the Hulk. Like
Yes.
the daughter of
Yes,
the
her.
science man. No, the
She's-
army man.
Arwen from The Lord of the Rings. Magical,
I haven't
beautiful
watched
elf
them either.
lady. How are you doing these podcasts if you haven't seen The Lord of the Rings?
I'm sorry. I was
I'm
never a fan.
sorry. In order to watch
What?
Fight Club, you have to watch Lord of the Rings. I didn't watch Lord of the Rings. I read Lord of the Rings.
Oh, edgy.
The book of the film with pictures.
I read about 11 pages of the actual book and wanted to cry.
Which actual book? Because there are like 6 in the end.
The Lord of the Rings. The whole thing.
Okay.
Not like the Silmarillion or The Hobbit, just the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
You said something yesterday, which I found really interesting, but I can't remember what it was.
Before
about
we
religion?
recorded this.
Yes,
a
yeah,
while
that was
ago.
it.
Um,
And religion's not a big theme in the film, at
No.
all. But there are elements.
There are quite a few instances that you can link to it, yeah, because Tyler...
I can't because I don't.
Well, I'll be explaining it so you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
include in the discussion.
First time
Um,
watching it, and then say multiple
Tyler
times.
mentions religion multiple times. He says that everyone on the plane are as calm as Hindu cows. When, on the booklet, when the safety procedure. And there's the yin-yang table, which is both sort of a representation of Tyler and the narrator, as well as just this concept of that in the first place. And then he mentions God a few times. He says that we are all God's abandoned children.
Yeah. What do you think the significance of that is then? The whole religion? Because I don't know what to make of it.
I mean, it links to postmodernism, because postmodernism deals with meta-narratives, which are big, overarching stories that happen to humanity, or so they believe. So it links to that. It also, I don't know, the concept that they continuously reference organized structures, even though they are such a disorganized structure themselves, until Project Mayhem occurs and Tyler becomes a little bit of a god himself. He is revered by all of the people in Project Mayhem. Robert Paulson becomes somewhat of a saint,
Yeah.
you could argue. He dies and then he gets a name and they're all like, his name was Robert Paulson, we love him, we'll pray for him. So I think it's interesting that he becomes a god in himself. And it mentions reincarnation a few times.
Yeah, it does.
Every night I died and I was born again. And
You said the bit on the plane.
the bit on the plane, Tyler only resurfaces or properly talks to the narrator when the narrator imagines his own death. It's like he's been reincarnated as Tyler, and then every time he goes to sleep, he obviously turns into Tyler, and then at the very end, he shoots himself, Tyler dies, he's reincarnated as his former self. So...
Was the bit where Tyler does kill his other version of himself, was the gun was it was a blank, wasn't it?
No,
No,
he shot himself
What happened?
through the cheek.
Shoot.
He believed that he was shooting himself. He just didn't understand that it would jolt so much, and he managed to shoot himself through the cheek. But Tyler died because that was him metaphorically getting power back.
Wow. It's interesting that it was just a gun though. That destroyed him.
Yeah, well, it was also the narrator's will, to be fair.
True.
Eventually, he got his conscience back.
Oh, okay. Santi's moving around.
He needs to stretch his legs.
Okay.
It is interesting, though, that
Yeah.
the gun is something, considering they've been fighting with their fists for the whole time, and they don't really
Yeah.
it's sort of been primal. The fact that he wins with something so modern is interesting.
Yeah. I need to watch the film again because I want to see the moments where we see Tyler in the mini frames, the tiniest. I want to know what's said and yes.
I'm just thinking that if Tyler is God, could something be said of modern technology destroying him?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mentioned about the gun.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's a good point as well,
Yeah.
because modern technology, we are a secular society now, so everyone believes in different gods or don't believe in God at all.
In the words of Nietzsche, when he said God was dead, he was never saying that God was actually dead. He was just stating that the existence of a god was no longer needed because we could govern ourselves without fear of a higher retribution.
Yeah.
Is that a quote?
That is interesting. The fact that he was doing that for everyone, and then he dies, and presumably everyone sort of gets their independence back.
Mm.
Yeah, Nietzsche did say that God is dead.
Oh. So yeah, I think it is important to watch it a second time, definitely.
At least
a second time.
Okay, I feel as though this is a personal attack. Just because it's not really a film I want to watch again.
Yeah.
That's fair enough, yeah.
It depends on your taste. I think Fight Club is enjoyable. I think it is one of the rare films that I find is more enjoyable with study.
Yes, I agree with that. Because the more we're focusing on different parts of it, I'm just like, oh yeah, and then I'm
it's like,
loving it like each time.
The other day when we were analysing specific scenes, you kept watching it over and over, kept noticing new things that they subtly put in there.
And I love films that do that.
I know, it's
like,
great.
You say like, I never saw that before, and then it kind of changes your perception of that scene or like the film entirely or the character.
The significance of one word sometimes.
Yeah, you're just like, oh my god.
Don't they say there's a coffee cup in every scene in Fight Club?
Yeah, I can't find them though.
Well, that's because you're just not trying hard enough.
I think someone says there's meant to be some form of
Corporate
consumerism,
culture.
and capitalism and all that. There's meant to be in each scene, but most aren't. I don't know.
Makes the Fight Club just create a Where's Wally, which is a flip book of every frame in the film. It'd be about
cute.
10 feet.
I will personally email David Fincher and ask him to do this. Hi, do you remember that film you made 20 years ago?
I don't think he ever forgets. I think sometimes he wakes up in the middle of the night just going, am I still me? Yeah?
Let's double check. Well, when I think it was the third time I saw it, I only like recognised that when the second time we see Robert Paulson, he's again like we're reintroduced to him. He tells Tyler, but not Tyler, the narrator. Yeah, he tells him that he has joined the club, but he's eating Krispy Kremes.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, which I didn't notice before, because he's holding like a box and like eating them, and then I was focusing on that, and then I was just like, wait, he's in the club, and the club's meant to be about not.
Well, it isn't yet. Project Mayhem hasn't been created
Krispy
yet.
Kremes are delicious. You can't beat that delicious taste of Krispy Kremes. When I wake up, the first
We
thing
do
I
not
think
sponsor
is
Krispy
I want
Kremes.
We are not sponsored by Krispy Kreme. We enjoy them, but we are not sponsored by them.
They gave me a
Krispy
free
Kremes,
donut.
give me money.
I wish we were. We could have donuts for each podcast.
Krispy Kremes, give me money.
It's like in the new Power Rangers film when they have the ending set in a Krispy Kreme.
Or IHOP with Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Or the moment where Looney Tunes back in action, getting into that level of obscurity, where they have a scene where they're in the middle of the desert wondering what they're going to do to survive. Then they come across a Walmart where a
Walmart.
non-diegetic...
They sell guns and children's toys.
Do they actually?
They're the same thing. And a non-diegetic or choir sings angelically, Walmart!
Yeah, corporate culture is everywhere. You can't really escape it, but it's not that big a deal as long as they're semi-nice companies. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, but I feel like because Tyler and the narrator begin Fight Club.
Yeah.
Originally to take out their aggression and just have something real.
Yeah.
And rather than something fake like
the furniture.
Consumerism. Yeah, the furniture
But
as well.
their aggression never leaves with just punching it.
No,
Just
because it's
sort
always
of
there, and then
builds
they get
the
scars
aggression.
on their face. So then they're now marked with that. So, yeah.
That's their problem.
To be fair, if you're stupid enough to go start fighting, then you deserve those scars.
No, the point of Fight Club is to say that you cannot become calm, you cannot achieve your peace with just punching at a problem. You need to use a plan and a mind.
Yes.
So, if I may take this slightly off-centre.
That's fine.
In Batman Forever, Dick Grayson wants to kill Two-Face, but Batman tells him not to because he knows that it will not give him the feeling he has. And even in films like... Can I spoil The Last Jedi here?
I'm not first. Are you first? Sorry.
I already know.
Sorry, listeners.
For spoilers, skip ahead to, I don't know, 30 seconds from now. Luke
So be quick, you're on a timer now.
Luke Skywalker says to Kylo Ren that if you kill me, you will have to deal with me for the rest of your life. Spoilers over. Spoilers over.
Yeah, it's like the whole blood on your hands
Yeah.
thing where everyone's like, oh, you don't want to have that guy's blood on your hands. And
Out, damn Spot. The Spot never gets clean.
well, yeah, exactly, from Macbeth. That's a decent reference. I'm proud of you for
For a
making
guy
a
who's
Shakespeare
been doing
reference.
Looney Tunes, Batman Forever,
And the Hulk.
and the whole
Shakespeare is a large...
it's a step down.
No,
let's
it
be
is.
honest.
It is exactly that concept though. That murder doesn't solve anything. Destruction doesn't solve anything because Fight Club is ultimately self-destructive. They aim for it to be destruction of the corporate culture, but they are all part of that world. You cannot separate yourself from that world enough to destroy that without destroying yourself.
Yeah. Lots of words.
Does destroying the buildings actually destroy the credit?
Destroy the Quidditch.
Yes, yes, it would theoretically because they didn't have internet then.
Oh yeah.
So they would have had all the old files and stuff stored
And
on those
physical
terrible
copies and
computers.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why not
Big
just
blocky
like the
things.
computers?
Because that would take a lot of effort. And
Blowing up an entire
well, they
city
already
block.
have explosives. It'd take a lot more time to go onto every floor and delete all the things and
Well, why not
burn
just-
all of the files. You might as well just destroy it all in one go.
Well, why
Santi,
not?
I have a question for you, and I
Yeah.
want your opinion
Oh.
later because we've seen it
Yeah.
multiple times. But do you remember the scene when Angel Face gets beaten up?
And he
Jared
wants
Leto.
to destroy something beautiful.
That's it.
No,
Yay!
I
I just wanted to see if you got that.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. And what's your take on it?
I love that bit. It's actually different in the original script.
Is it?
Yeah. You know how in the film he says, I wanted to destroy something beautiful while he's beating Angel Face up. And then Tyler's like, he just sort of leaves. He looks like mildly disappointed, but he just sort of picks his coat up and leaves.
Yeah.
And tells them to get him an ambulance. In the script, the original script, like the pre-production script, it changed. He was beating him up, and then Tyler asked him why he did it, and then the narrator was like, I wanted to destroy something beautiful, and Tyler's like, all right.
Which version did they use again?
They use the one where Tyler looks a bit disappointed, which is interesting because generally he would have been for that thing if we keep using him as the concept of the id, the destruction.
You would have thought he would have been like condoning it and like
Exactly.
being. Bless you.
Don't turn on your own brothers, though. They are
No.
all in Project Mayhem together.
That is a fair point, but the one of the hilarious things about it is obviously they're the same person, so he's disappointed at himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But then when you watch it, everyone kind of reacts like they'd be like taken
Yeah.
aback. Really, is that because he beat him up so bad, or maybe because they hadn't seen this such aggressive side of the narrator
It's
just yet?
Likely both.
Because
I
they've
guess
probably
both.
seen the Tyler version of,
Yeah.
of beating people up, but maybe this was like a step overboard.
in my opinion, it's something that resonates with us, even if not on the same level.
Yeah.
Where sometimes in our own impotence, to use the word, we let out our anger on just the first thing we can control, and we just keep using our control again and again
I know.
until everything's been
It's like
destroyed.
when you know a piece of gossip that would only hurt people if you told them, but you really want to tell them anyway just because you know it.
Just to hurt them, like, for example, Ellen's boyfriend has cheated on me. On her.
Cheated on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm hurt. I'm distraught.
The only person that's hurt It's me. I
love this gossip was meant to be like, ouch for Ellen. You don't.
For those of you that can't see what's going on,
Santi's pretending to die.
Yeah.
Of a heartbreak? Question mark? I don't know.
I'm just sort of with my hand around my chest or neck area. So it's
Chest
either
or neck.
an organ failure or I'm just being strangled. Pick one.
We'll never know. Okay, that's the scenario.
Tyler actually says excellent after he says, I just felt like destroying something beautiful in the original script.
Excellent.
In what way though? How does he say it?
Probably excellent.
Like
Much like the
smug.
Brad Pitt smirk.
Excellent.
No, not like Mr. Burns. Okay.
Oh, I would enjoy it if Fight Club had Mr. Burns as Tyler Durden.
Well, to conclude, how would you rate
Fight Club?
Fight Club?
First watch, I wasn't paying attention that much. Didn't like it all that much. Probably somewhere around a 6 because it's got Brad Pitt. Love Brad Pitt. And Helena Bonham Carter, obviously, who does a fantastic job in anything she's in.
She's amazing, yeah.
And Edward Norton's decent, I guess. But he's not nice in real life, apparently. Apparently he's really not fun to watch.
No, Edward Norton.
Yeah, so I guess about a 6 for first watch, but through studying it, somewhere around an 8. Like, it's not my favorite film. And it's not a genre I generally watch, but it is brilliant. And I think the book is theoretically more brilliant because obviously Fight Club didn't come from its own idea.
Yeah,
but
I think
it ain't.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the more you discover, the more you're like, oh, this is actually like really meaningful.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, which is good.
You, Santi?
Santi.
I don't think I can assign a numeric value because I can see it as a very interesting film with like so much in it. But because I didn't enjoy it, I can't say I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I can say watch it even though I didn't enjoy it. Because
yeah, it is definitely a film you should watch.
if you don't enjoy it, you will still come out of it with something.
It's pop culture references.
Yes.
Soap.
Soap.
First rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Second rule of Fight Club, you don't drop the soap. I mean...
We should censor everything.
Hey, I don't use the swear words. I just
Sure.
use the innuendo.
And I would... Yeah, I'm ignoring you now. I'd rate it a 7. I really enjoy it. And I love learning about it. I think that some things... I can't think of an example. I think that, like...
The missing 3 points.
I know. I
think
don't know.
Is it just that it's generally not like a genre you'd watch? And it's
Yeah,
not
I think that's it. Like, because I really... And I like postmodernism in films, and I find it great. I think that it should just, like... it's not really something I'd watch for the sake of, like... Oh,
I first watched it when my mom recommended it.
Yeah, I hadn't watched it at all, like, since I knew that we were going to be learning about it, and then I was like, okay, I might just watch it on Netflix, and I was like, oh, it's pretty good, but like I wouldn't go out of my own way to watch it.
It's not like horror films where you go to see because it's a horror film, especially since it doesn't particularly have a genre.
Yeah, it's like you don't know how to feel about it as well, because it's like, do you come away from it thinking, oh, they're cute together, or do you think, oh no, corruption?
Yeah. And you go into watching films to pick a genre. People like rom-coms, people like dramatic Oscar-winning dramas, people like comedies, or people like horror films or fantasies. They don't like something that cannot be classified, which is cute about it, I think.
The point of the ending is that it's never meant to last.
Yeah.
They can't stay in love.
Yeah.
The credit won't remain permanently erased. Everything will just go back to another place, a place worse than possibly where it started.
Yeah.
And
which is where Fight Club 2 leads
I think
up to.
the end... Can we stop referencing Fight Club 2? I haven't referenced the Hulk in
quite a while.
Minutes.
To be fair, Fight Club 2 is relevant.
Yeah, so is the Hulk, Edward Norton. But like, where was I? The point of the ending, I think, is to say it doesn't matter what happens from now on. What's done is done, and there's no way to undo it.
Okay.
We're all past the point of no return.
It's the last thing I'm going to ask. In the film, they say, I am Jax, or fill in name here, and then they say, whatever.
Yeah.
Come up with your own.
Come Come up with my own what?
Like, so I am Santi's, and then what are you?
Oh, do I have to do it about myself?
You could do anything, really.
Okay.
I am Brad's penis.
Applaud.
What's the rest of the sentence?
Do you need anything
As in,
more?
I am Jack's colon, I get cancer, I kill Jack.
I am Brad's penis. I'm here very briefly, but when I am, you notice I've been here.
My one is, I am Ellen's hatred for Santi talking about Hulk for like an hour.
I just grow and grow and grow.
How one?
Could be anything.
You are Dex's love of
I
Helena Bonham
am
Carter.
the narrator's Tyler Durden, in that I am here sometimes, but most of the time I have no idea what I'm doing.
Can I just give a final thought?
Go
What
for
if
it.
the film was directed by Tim Burton?
Oh no.
Oh no.
And with
That'd be-
Helena Bonham Carter, Tyler Durden was played by Sacha Baron Cohen.
Or Johnny Depp.
It
No,
would be
Johnny
Johnny
Depp's
Depp.
the narrator.
Oh.
Sacha Baron Cohen is Tyler Durden.
That would be a very strange
And
film.
instead of Meatloaf, shall we say Danny Elfman?
Well,
God.
to conclude,
To
Fight,
conclude.
Fight Club is a good film.
Decent.
Hulk is just
The
not
Incredible
necessary
Hulk
right now.
is definitely a film. Can we do
It
that?
is a film that exists,
And Fight Club is best to watch multiple
as
times.
it was designed to by
Yeah.
the directors. Actually.
Can't remember his name. Oh,
David
David Fincher. Yeah.
David
Well-
Fincher. Yeah, they designed it to watch multiple
I
times.
think I've seen The Incredible Hulk more times than I've seen Fight Club, so...
Stop it!
so the
Stop
trying-
Alright,
we're
we're
trying-
stopping it! We're stopping it!